You know what really grinds my gears? Looking for a rental. We're trying to find at least a 3-bedroom so that we can each have our own room, as well as my office could go into my bedroom so that, Bestie could be in the living room and doing whatever he wants to do while I'm working. Or when Kiddo's here, he could be in the living room hanging out with his dad, right? Where right now, if I'm working, nobody can be in the living room. And that's not very fair. So we're trying to find something a little bit bigger, and again, it'd be nice to each have our own room. Everybody has their own privacy, right? Trying to find a place. And you see all these places, $1,100 for a private room, $1,150 for a private room. I seen one, it was $1,200 a month for a shared room. Excuse me? So a 3-bedroom, you're getting $3,600 a month, plus the tenant has to pay utilities. Now, I'm not against paying utilities for a place I'm renting. I'm living there. I should be responsible for the utilities. I agree with that. What I disagree with is these landlords that are trying to freaking charge you $4,000 a month to live in a 3-bedroom apartment. Like, where do you get off? Your mortgage is nowhere close to that, if you have a mortgage at all. And then you get places that are like, students only renting to students. I'm sorry, there's not enough homes in the city to rent to residents, and you're renting to only students who don't need to rent an outside of university home. There is plenty of student housing. They took over one of the hotels in town and changed it into student housing. I know where we moved from, where there was a mass eviction and everybody had to move out. Rumors were they were renovating that into student housing. So there is more than enough student housing. And then you get these students that come over from other countries to learn, which, hey, welcome to Canada. I hope you have a great education and a great experience. But then they're taking up housing for residents. And it's absolutely ludicrous to me. First off, places saying students only, get lost. No. And then places that are $1,200 a month for a room. Who would pay that? And $3,000 a month to rent the place then? Okay, yeah, so totally need a $30 an hour job just to be able to afford to rent, let alone buy groceries, pay for utilities, so on and so forth. It's like when Mike and I first moved to Guelph, we were living with his parents and we were trying to find our own place. And we used to actually get turned away from some places because they all thought we were students. Oh, well, you're young, you're probably here for school. No, we're residents. And, well, we don't rent to young people. We were 25 and 22. We weren't young people. I guess technically we were. But, just because we're in our 20s doesn't mean we're in school. I had already graduated, and Mike didn't go to college, so... and then later, it was there was myself and Mike, his brother, and his brother's girlfriend, and we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment. The apartment was beautiful. And this is, again, back in 2014. He's no longer with that girl. She decided to take off and move up to North Bay or some shit. Whatever. But anyway, so there was 4 of us living in this tiny 2-bedroom apartment. And we used to get turned around all the time. Sorry, we don't want partiers. What makes you think that we're partiers? Well, you're 4 young adults living together. It's husband and wife, brother, and brother's partner. It's not like we're 4 random strangers living together. And even if we were, what does that mean that we're partiers? With the pricing of everything, you have to live with other people. Anyways, it just ticks me off. Again, we're just trying to find something slightly bigger so that we can each have our own room. And again, so that I can have a space to work without taking up the living room and making it so that the other people that live here can't be in their own living room. You know what I mean? And it's so frustrating. And I just wanted to rant about it. So, luckily, Mike and I had found an amazing landlord that decided to rent to us. And that place was great. But that landlord came to us and said, hey, I have a place in the backyard. I know you have a dog. Did you want to check it out? And that's where we ended up moving to the house that Mike's still in today. And it was good because, it was Mike and I, and it was his brother. And then we had taken on a friend as a roommate. And then we also had an extra space for an office. And so that house was perfect. And I wish that I could find something similar. to that, because then again we'd each have our own room and we'd have a space for me to have an office. I'd love to have a yard for Max to run in, and if it was a big enough house, I could start taking my other dog for visits, because I miss Kita, like, really bad, but my place is just too small. She's a husky. She's big. She's gonna knock everything over, and she'd be cooped up. So it's not fair, right? So that's why I don't take my other dog right now. But, like, looking at all these places, the cost of the rent is just ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. Or, like I said, they say students only. And just, it really grinds my gears. Anyways, I hope you have a good day. Oh, and I forgot to add in, the other thing that really irks me is all these landlords that think they can get away with saying no pets allowed. Sorry for your luck, bud, but in Ontario, it's illegal to tell you no pets. Now, that being said, I wouldn't rent a place that says no pets, because I do have at least my one dog that I have on occasion. And so I'm not about to, like, immediately rent a place and lie to my landlord or, you know, get on the landlord's bad side because I have a pet. It's just not worth it. But so many of these places are like, no pets allowed. It's like, you really need to do your homework before you rent out a place, because you're not allowed to say no pets in Ontario.